Hello, this is Dr. Janice R, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to do something a little different. I am going to invite you in my home, into my living room, where I didn't quite have the decor that felt like I wanted it to feel until I ran into an old friend, Ricci Jackson, the owner of Your Design Partner, who helped my home to evoke the emotions that I desired. So stay tuned. I can't wait to share.
So let me tell you a little bit about our guests. Once again, we are here for asking for a sister friend. And today we are talking about interior design that evokes emotion. Now, let me tell you about my guest today. I think we have known each other probably about 40 years or
Right.
so
Isn't that crazy?
because that is crazy because
Right.
we went to college together at the
Yeah.
University of Maryland Eastern Shore. And so hadn't talked to each other in years. And then I started seeing the wonderful things that she's doing. Now, she is a licensed professional who is into interior design. And you might have seen her out there on Instagram or somewhere, but she is doing a fabulous job of helping her clients to have a certain feel a certain way in their homes is what I would say. So
Mhm.
I'm not going to do a whole lot of introduction because she can practically introduce herself once you see some of the wonderful things she has done. But welcome to the stage, everybody, Miss Reese Jackson.
Hi, hello. I'm happy to be here and am grateful for the invitation.
Yes, I'm so
Thanks.
glad to have you here because I just really have admired so many of the things that you've been doing. And I was like, how did Reese get into interior design in the first place? So can you tell us that?
Yeah. So most of my career has been in outside sales, actually. I was an account executive in three different spaces,
Hmm.
uh, advertising, immunizations, and business machines of all things. We have moved around quite a bit. And every time we moved, I'd have to stage our home. And people would ask me, who staged your home? Who did the staging for you? Like realtors would ask. And I would say, no one. Like I did it. So anyway, I just started kind of connecting the dots. Um, I really just got to the point where I was tired of working for someone else,
Hmm.
especially when I was bringing in, big projects that were this big and my commission was this big.
Hmm. Okay.
And I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to work this hard, it's time for me to work this hard for Reese. So that's how we got started.
Okay. And so you broke off into your company. You became an entrepreneur. Where did your design partner come from?
So, one of the things that I have learned is while moving around is that it's very overwhelming.
Mm.
And even I myself wished I had a partner to help me with this overwhelm. Like I had this home, all these empty rooms. And before I actually got into the industry, I considered hiring a designer too, because it's just, you don't think twice about going to the dentist when you have a toothache,
Right.
going to the doctor when you have an injury. And so I'm like, there are professionals out here that can help remove that overwhelm, partner with you, and just help you. We don't all know how to do this. And I just said I could be that person because I enjoy it so much. So yeah.
Wow. So where were you, Reese, when we were back in school and you could have decorated my dorm room, right?
No. Because I wasn't even into it then, like not at all. My dorm room was not cute. I promise you, it was not cute. It's something about home ownership that was a
Hmm.
mental shift for me.
Hmm.
I felt like, when you're a renter, you're limited, that you have to have white walls, you can't paint them, you really can't flex your creativity as a renter. So it really wasn't until I became a homeowner that I felt a sense of like, this is mine. I own this. I want to make it mine. And so, Yeah, I this was a late passion, if that makes sense.
Okay.
When I majored in business,
Hmm.
and all of the other jobs that I had, I really think helped prepare me for this. Because it was essentially like running my own business when I was doing those things. But yeah, I could not
Wow.
have helped you in school.
Right, right. We couldn't help ourselves because, again, I barely had a room, period, and whatever mom let me bring from home, that became my dorm room decoration, right?
Right, right, right. Hodgepodge. Yes, for sure. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about what you do. So what you've shared with me
Hmm.
was that you help your clients to your work evokes emotion. Tell
Yes.
me a little bit about that.
Sure. So, funny thing is, I have a questionnaire, right?
Hmm.
And I ask people to respond to the questions. And one of the questions was always, what is your design style, right?
Okay.
And I found that people would answer it one way.
Hmm.
I would also have them share inspiration pictures so that I would know how to best help them. And there was always a misalignment. So they would say that this is my design style. And then
Hmm.
they show me pictures of what they thought that was. And they just never matched. And so, speaking from let me start asking them how they want their home to feel.
Okay.
That gave them more power. It felt more empowering. They felt more excited about it. And they could really answer that question. And there was some alignment, right? Like if you want your bedroom, for example, to feel romantic, it's easy for you to say, or serene, or like a tropical paradise.
Hmm.
And then we would kind of unpack what that looks like. So there's certain colors that'll take you there. There's certain, art pieces that'll take you there. So yeah, it was just more of a way to make them feel more empowered and, kind of close the gap of because there was a misalignment there.
Wow. So I'm a bootleg home interior designer. Um, just because I
When you
watch the
said
Home and
bootleg,
Garden channel. Right, right.
right,
Bootleg because I watch the Home and Garden channel all the time, and I'm always trying to tell other people what they need to pick and that kind of thing. And I would let everyone know Reese did a room for us. Okay. And when she asked me how I wanted it to feel, and I'm like, I'm why is she asking this? I'm ready to get into the colors and that kind of thing. But
right.
when I actually explained to you that I wanted our room to feel like like a chic um hotel, boutique hotel lobby kind of look,
Mhm,
where a place that was conversational, where people wouldn't mind sitting in there and just in sipping some coffee or some tea or that
mhm.
kind of thing. And then you took and ran with it. And I was like, how did she come back with this? And then again, you had hubby. I don't know. I can barely remember Reese, but I don't know if me and hubby were saying two different things at the same time. But we
That
always
happens a
had a
lot.
problem with our living room because maybe it was because we have light carpet in there, but it was like we couldn't ever get people to sit in the living room.
Mhm, mhm,
They would go straight to the kitchen. We have a couch in our kitchen, but they would go straight to the kitchen. And so I just wanted that to be an inviting place where
mhm.
people could sit. So talk a little bit about your process and everybody keep in mind, Reese was in Ohio and I am in Kansas, and she was helping me out with this. So talk a little bit about how pitiful your clients were, me and the Reverend Dr. Bobby Love.
First of all, you guys were not pitiful, and you did say that you were saying one thing and your husband was saying something else. Sometimes, you do have to sort of find a way to make both people happy, of course.
Hmm.
And,
Hmm.
so you guys answered the questionnaire, right? I've read the responses. You guys were awesome at providing video for me. You took me through a video tour of your house, remember? You were like, this is how high the ceiling is, and that sort of thing. You also provided great measurements, right? I have to have that in order for me to, return to you a beautiful project, right? So, because I have to make sure that I'm ordering your chairs in the right scale. They can't be too big, too small.
Hmm.
right? You wanted it to be conversational. You wanted it to reflect, you have a very vibrant personality, right? And you made it very clear to me that you wanted blue. I remember you saying you absolutely didn't want orange. Orange, I
Hmm.
have so we found green, and it's just beautiful. And I feel like it is conversational. I feel like it's, you know, um, inviting. And you guys seem to really like it, which is what makes me very
Yeah,
happy.
I mean, I'll show the picture again. This the header that I had out there. This is actual my living room that Ricci helped me with,
Yeah,
and
great.
so the way I created this, because you literally were sitting in our living room with us at that point, helping us to put this together. So I
Right.
wanted the beautiful colors, in the curtains and
Mhm.
those chairs. I mean, we
Mhm.
just love our living room. And again, you helped us to bring this together. Now, what I really loved is you had my husband all into it, girl. He was
Yes, he
painting and taking
was.
measurements, and he was doing all kind of stuff.
Yes.
So my point here is that you don't have to be on site
Right.
to help someone
Right.
to get this done. Now you just made a move from Ohio to Florida,
Yes.
right? And so I know that what was hard on you moving your business from one place to the next.
The second
But
time doing so. Yes.
oh yeah,
Second
but you
move.
oh gosh, I know you're used to moving, but but again, I love the work that you've done. I've seen some of your other work on your website or whatever you'll pop out there
Mhm.
on Instagram. In fact, we have a couple of slides here that
Okay.
I wanna bring up so
Okay.
that you can talk about what the expectations were of the client when you did these projects.
Well, one of the reasons why I shared these was I these were my first publications in a long time. So this
Mhm,
particular space, if you look at the before picture, you would appreciate it more. And one of the main, I created ceiling to floor draperies, which
mhm,
lengthen and expand this room. It used to have some kind of, I don't know if you guys are familiar with balances, and it just
mhm, we got them.
off, it cut the rim off. And so we wanted to, wanted this to be elegant, uncluttered was the goal, comfortable, cozy, but also serene, right? Which is why we chose tones of blue. Now, this
Mhm,
particular home, the home, when you look out that window, it's an oasis. And so we
mm,
want to frame that beautiful oasis and not cover them up. So those draperies will never open and close. They're always going to be stationary, but we wanted to frame the view. And we wanted, one of the main things in this is that we painted their entertainment center this bold, crazy blue. It was like a cream color and it was very dated. And we
mhm.
brought it up to date by giving it this bodacious, awesome color. And they just fell in love with the room all over again. So this was, and it was a pride and joy for me because it ended up being published. So it was pretty cool.
Oh, I love it. It's beautiful.
Thank you. So this one at the very bottom, we commissioned an artist, a local artist, to do the art. The top one was not my work. That's another
Okay.
designer, and she just was looking for. This was right after COVID. She
Mhm,
needed pops of color. She wanted something to feel joy, right? And so we brought in some oranges and some blues, and made it conversational too. This is cropped. But
mm,
one of the things that you want to do in any given space is you want to create a focal point, right? In every room. And this commission art piece was what this room was designed around. And so
mm.
it's massive. Like you can't tell how large these art pieces are, but it's massive and it's personal. And that's what made this really work.
Wow.
So this was another publication. I had no idea it was going to make the cover. Like, what in the world?
Yay.
Beautiful surprise. But this particular woman is a single young lady, and she just wanted bold, large and in charge. She is a very active senior. She dances, she takes dance lessons, and she just needed to walk into her home and feel uplifted. And
Mm.
orange was her favorite color. So we added some boldness and some cultural art pieces. And this picture is cropped too. But on her ottoman is this very lush throw. So one of
Mm.
the things that I try to incorporate is all five senses when I'm designing. And so this yummy furry throw was that feel, right? With
Mhm.
sea beauty. Of course, there's candles, there was music playing. So we had all five senses engaged. And she has hired me back to do two more projects. Like
Wow. I love
actually,
that.
all three of these clients have had me back for multiple projects. Yeah.
Wow. So
Excuse me.
so what happens to people? Let me tell you kind of what happened to me. So when I had my first place, right? It
Mhm.
was whatever I could scrounge up,
Excuse me.
right? Whatever I could scrounge up, whether it was stuff I stole from my parents' house or stuff that I had left over from my dorm room. So my first apartment was had a basket with black and white TV on it, some Rent-A-Center furniture that I made it work. So
Right.
then getting married, you try to bring two things together and you never get to a point where you can you can say that it's how you want to feel. And so when we had bought this house, we bought this house, I went and I just bought a bunch of furniture and I didn't even think about other stuff like the curtains or the feel, the smell. I didn't do all of that stuff. So what happens to us along the way? Going from dorm room chic to trying to live in a house that looks like something.
We said what happens to us along the way. I think it takes someone to bring these things out, honestly.
Mhm.
I don't think it's something that we know. Like my first place, our first place was horrible. I mean, we had hand-me-downs from everybody in the family. I
Mhm.
remember a red shag rug to this day. It was so hideous. And then we had a floral sofa on top of it. But hey, we were young, right? We
Yeah.
didn't, we just took whatever we could. And so we had hodgepodge, early dorm room. And I just think, you get to a place where you are more steeped into your career, you're
Mhm.
professionals, right? And you
Mhm.
want your home to reflect that, right?
Mhm.
And there's so many people that don't want anyone to come to their home because they don't have this sense of pride about it.
Mhm.
It's like I don't really want to entertain. I don't want anybody to come. Da, 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 da. But the minute they, make some updates and add a refresh, they are inviting so many people, having parties, all the things. But yeah, we just want. I think we just get to a place where we're not necessarily in our first home, but maybe our second home. We're making a
Mhm.
little more money. We're steeped in our career, and we just want our home to reflect that. And we just want to have a sense of pride about it. And so we enlist help. And there are people who just, the thing about e-design and distance design, if you will,
Mhm.
is that you have an opportunity to get the expertise of someone, and then you can execute it in your own time whenever you're ready. You
Mhm.
know what to get, what size to get, what colors to get. I'm going to give you a color palette and whatever your needs are, and then you can sort of execute that when you're ready. So I just think it's a win-win.
Well, I tell you, you did so much for us. I had somebody who wanted to come and say something to you.
Ah, hello. How are you? It's good to see
I
you.
am doing fabulous. How are you? And
I'm great. I'm great. I
oh,
really appreciated all the interim pictures.
oh
Janice was
yes,
showing me you hanging the draperies and, you know,
absolutely. She
laying
put
out
me
the
to
work.
work. I tell you.
Yes.
She put me to
Yes.
work. But I just wanted to hop on, and it's my distinct pleasure to be on. I always enjoy coming on Dr. Janice's shows, and whenever she lets me on, so I have to
Mhm.
behave myself. But I am so excited to be in the presence of two extraordinary women. And Ricci, just let me say that what you have done for us. Um, Janice had found you and said, I've got this great concept. And of course, I had to see it and get on her street. And I tell you, we get so many compliments of what you put together for us, and we just love it. So thank you so very much, and I certainly hope God's choicest blessings be upon you, your business, and anything you set your hands to. You have truly blessed our hearts.
Well, you have blessed me as well for inviting me to even your project. Thank you for that. That means the world to me. I'm so glad you guys are still enjoying it.
Absolutely.
Yes, we are. And people sit in there now.
Oh, yeah.
People sit there, we have conversation, and it's just been wonderful.
It's
But
just
thank you,
so.
darling, for popping in.
All right.
I'm
Well,
going to kick
thank
you
you.
out
You
now.
all carry on,
Right.
and thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I
Well, that
wanted
was
him to
nice.
jump out there because again, we have just really enjoyed. So let's talk a little bit about your process. And again, people think that you can't do this remote, but again, it works so well for us. So let's talk about your process. If someone wanted to do a room, a whole house, whatever, let's talk about the process that they would go through.
So, it starts with a discovery call, honestly. All they have to do is pop on my website. There's a link for a discovery call. We chat for 15 minutes, and then we decide which direction you go. You're going to go the e-design route or full in-home design. E-design is on my website right now. You can literally just go to services and order. It'll take you to my e-design platform, and you could actually order arts and accessories package. I think there's a premium and there's a deluxe, right? And it's super intuitive, so easy. Well, actually, you can probably even speak to it. I mean, it
Yeah.
asks questions. It asks you to upload pictures of your rooms,
Mhm.
all 4 walls. It asks you to take measurements. So you guys just give me the information. And if I have any additional questions, I reach out to you just to make sure that I have everything I need. And then in a few days, you have your plan of action.
Yeah, I think our whole process, maybe I don't even think it took a whole month, because once we had the conversation with you and you really did the interview, you came back with two concepts for us.
Yes.
And they both um they both had the same feel, but
Mhm.
you hit it on the head, especially with that one, and we were just so excited to run with it. So after we approved kind of what we wanted to do,
Mhm.
then you started sending me links to where I could buy the stuff. And
Right.
that was so easy. So it was like Christmas around here, Ricci, when those chairs came in, when the end
Yeah.
tables came in, and I think the only thing that we switched up were the lamps. And again, you worked within our budget.
Mhm.
It doesn't take $1 million to decorate a room.
Right.
She definitely worked within our budget, because I was like, okay, this is
You have to tell me what your budget is for sure,
right.
and I'm going to work within that. And to your point, it is important to say that I do like to give you 2 or 3, sometimes
Hmm.
3 different design plans. The one that you
Hmm.
tell me you want, one that's
Hmm.
way out there, stuff that you would not have thought about, and then somewhere
Right.
in the middle. And
Hmm.
most people end up kind of in the middle because you want to be taken out of your comfort zone, but not too much, right?
Right.
So
Right.
a lot of people land in the middle. But yes, I'm going to source and look for things and recommend things that are in the designated budget that you provided. Yes.
Yes, and you did a great job. Like I said, it was like Christmas, stuff started coming in, the drapes came in. Hubby, you sent us the color samples for the
Yes.
walls that we were painting, and even though it seemed like a DIY project, you were there supervising it in a sense, and I just love it. I'm telling you, you did a great job for me. So if anybody's thinking about, even if it's a room in your home, whether it's maybe an office, you do offices, don't you?
I do. Home offices, yes.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I had to take some inspiration from you when I kind of redid my office when the pandemic hit and everything. But
Right.
it was such a process. So I wanted to ask you, what emotions or feelings or moods do people typically say they want in a room?
Well, the number one is comfortable, cozy. Like I hear that
Okay.
all the time. They really, the world is loud and
Mm-hmm.
busy, and you want to come home to calm, cozy, comfort, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there are some people that want opulence, right? They just
Mm.
want I'm working with a gentleman who, just wants his house to look to reflect that he is, a big wig or whatever. I don't know. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know the right word to say.
Right.
He wants his home to reflect. I think he's a financial advisor or something. And
Mm-hmm.
so,
Success. He wants to look like he's successful.
absolutely. So opulent, rich, bold, he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
want any, flimsy colors. He wants a bold, rich, yummy. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean the serene is another one, calm, nature inspired. I mean, it's just the whole gamut. But cozy is the number one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So something I noticed here in the last couple of years is that blue seems to be coming back.
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, blue is the world's number one color. It just
Okay. Okay.
people fall in love with it. It's serene,
Mhm.
calm. That's blue. There are, there's you add white to blue and you get pastel. You add gray and it's muted and it could be dusty and moody and dark and blue could span so many different directions. But yeah, blue and green top the number one and number two color in the world.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So what are some of the new trends that are coming in now that you really are liking or maybe you don't like? What's some of the new trends you're seeing?
Maximalism is definitely in, like maximalism, like a lot of something on every wall, and that is definitely not me, and one
Mhm.
of the things in design is that, the space is very crowded, right? And
Mhm.
so you have to kind of find your lane and, you don't want to be everything to everybody. So if
Mhm.
somebody is looking for maximalism, I'm not their person.
Mm.
I don't like too much because it feels
Okay.
uncomfortable. That's the other thing that design does is it gives you a sense of calm when you don't have stuff everywhere.
Mhm. Right.
Editing a space is just as important as adding things to it, right? And you want to
Mm.
be intentional about what goes in it. Things you like, things that speak to you, maybe a family heirloom, your favorite color. If you have a collection of something, choose three, no more than 3 to 5 of that collection,
Mhm.
and give it a designated space and let that be, a focal point or whatever. But don't have one here, one there. You know what I mean? It just ends up being very
Mm.
busy. And then you wonder why you can't relax at home, why you can't. But for a maximalist, that's everything to them. Maybe they're extroverts, maybe that's what they want. You know what I mean? But that's not my lane. But that is definitely in right now.
Wow. Yeah, I'm like I've been downsizing. I've been minimalizing things. I don't want
Yes.
stuff everywhere. And
Right.
I mean, I guess I'm there. I'm not there yet because I need to redo my closet, Ricci, but that's a whole nother party. Okay. I'm trying to
Right.
make that transition from working every day to being reassigned and not having to go somewhere every day. So I'm trying to make that closet transition. So so what do you want to share with our audience? What any special tips you want to share with our audience today before we get out of here?
Just when you think about making your house your home, just, don't think about your neighbor's house down the street or the house you grew up in. Try to unpack what your special place looks like. I think sometimes we try to mimic what we like from other
Mhm.
people, but I really try to help people unpack what feels good to them. And
Mm.
let's make that work, So just it's a little bit of, add some Pinterest, pins to your Pinterest board and look at that and see what the commonalities are. You're really drawn to a certain color or texture or patterns, and then you can start to, work from there. Another thing is pop on my website and take the design personality test. And that will help you figure out kind of, where you are And yeah, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. But, yourdesignpartner.com is where you guys can reach me. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook. I'd love to work with, anyone of your guests. And yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Again, I am so excited. Again, I am so glad we reconnected after 40 years, back
Right.
in our college days.
But we're only
And
21, so I'm not sure how the math is working, but
girl, I don't either. I don't either. It's something, but you know what? We still look just like we did in college.
we do. I'll take
Uh-huh.
that.
We do, we do. And of course, we are sorority sisters as well. And
Uh,
so I am just so glad that we reconnected. And again, thank you. As my husband shared, thank you for really making a difference in our home. I've been, especially since I met you, I've been a little bit more deliberate about the spaces in our home,
mhm.
and making sure that they are exactly what we want it to be. We want,
So
our bedroom. We want our bedroom to be a sanctuary just for
absolutely,
us, and that
absolutely.
word cozy definitely comes up. And
Mm.
even our guest rooms and stuff, we learned from you when you actually worked with us. So I would suggest to anybody, if you're ready to make your house into a home that reflects your personality, that reflects the mood that you want to have in your very own home. I mean, think about it. You want your home to truly be a reflection of who you are. And if it's not, that might explain some things why you don't feel always comfortable in your home. But I'm not gonna go there, Reese. But and again, thank you, Reese,
Of
for
course. Thank you so
for
much.
for everything that you have done, and I wish you the best in your new location in Florida. There's some big old houses in Florida that you need to tackle,
Right.
and I might look on the Home and Garden and see you out there one of these days.
Oh,
Yourdesignpartner.com.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Well, definitely.
Right.
But anyway, I want to thank you for coming on as my guest today. We had some comments. People were like, "I love the orange. Wow, that's interesting." Yeah, lots of comments about the wonderful work that we showed that you had done. But again, your design partner, she can be found on Facebook. She can be found on Instagram. And you're even on LinkedIn as well, because we are live right now on LinkedIn. So I'm looking forward to hearing about some of the great things you're doing. And I might have to give you a call about one more project that I need to get done.
Well, I'll be here. I'll be here. All the
All
best.
right. All right. So, Breezy, thank you again. And you have been here for asking for a sister friend. And, Breezy, there's a scripture that I always share when I am closing it out. And it's Proverbs 27:17 from the Good News Translation, which says, "People learn from one another just as iron sharpens iron." And I can definitely say that you have sharpened my iron on today, as you have since we have been reconnected.